In this video, I'll be sharing 5 tips that I wish I knew way back when I was starting out building my technical portfolio. Personally, I've been a full-stack engineer freelancer for 5 years, and part of my mission is to help new beginners to succeed in the tech industry, whether that's landing a full-time job or becoming a freelancer. But hey, if you're first time meeting, my name's Artem, and on this channel, DevPool, I'm bringing the best tips and tools on how to become a successful web developer using online videos, and let's just dive into it. So the number one thing you have to focus on when you're building out your professional portfolio is that it needs to be responsive. So the one thing I want to show right now is the analytics for my personal website, Tech DevPool. So here right now we can see that a lot of viewers on my website who've been visiting have been using mobile instead of desktop. So we can see 66.8% of my viewers have been using their smartphones. What that means is that it's a good thing that right at the beginning when I have developed my website, it was already responsive. So to me, I already didn't care if they'll be using a smartphone, a desktop, a tablet. I knew for a fact that it will look friendly and it's very easy to navigate. So based on this data right now, we can see that a lot of users were on different screen resolutions, different devices, different browsers. And based on this information, what I can say right now is that when I'll be building out my website, the number one browser I should be testing on is Chrome. And that's pretty much it. I might test still on a Safari, how it looks like, but I'm not going to be testing on Edge because we can see that the number of those users is very, very small, right? And if it's something breaks out there, it's only gonna break for like 2 or 3 people, so I don't really care about that. Oh, and by the way, if you're getting value out of this video right now, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Tip number 2, don't build your portfolio from scratch. What I did 5 years ago when I was starting out the first time, I built my portfolio from scratch completely. My pages, components, everything. And when I was doing that, it took me some time to build that website. It actually took me a couple of weeks, if not months, to build this whole thing to make sure that it's responsive, it looks good, and the functionality is still there. Now, what you can do today, or what I have done right now for my current website, Tech DevPool, is that I have paid for specific templates. Now, you don't have to pay. You can actually also find the free resources online. And what those resources are is they will already provide you with free components. So they'll give you a few examples of how the website can look like. And if you do like what you see, well, you can just download that for free and change those components, those templates, the way you like it. And the beauty of that is that you're not going to be spending too much time doing that because, well, the design is there, everything is there. All what you have to do is just input in your text, your files, whatever it is that you want. And of course, if you still want to change just a little bit of a design, let's say the background or whatever it is, little tweaks, you can still do that. They're there. And that's about it. Overall, to create this website that you guys see right now, it took me about 2 days to develop maximum, deployed everything, and that's it. The only thing that took me the longest is the content. Now, the one thing I will not recommend is to use Wix.com to build out your website. And the reason to that is because if you're to do it for free, you can do so, no problem. But if you want to stand out professionally or just to look professional, you'll notice that with a free package, you can just change the domain name in there, meaning that in my case, let's say I want to have a techdevpool.com. Well, with Wix, I can't just have that by itself. It will say techdevpool.wix.com. And in order for me to get rid of that, if I want to use my personal domain that I already have, well, I will have to pay for that package. I'll have to upgrade to a different level. And for that, that means I'll have to pay $5 a month. Now the question is, why would you want to pay $5 a month to have that, where you can just pay $10, $15 for a specific template that you like, make modifications to it, change some things around it, upload it to your GitHub, connect to your Netlify, and that's it. With that, you don't actually have to pay. The only thing you're still paying for is the domain, as you always still have to pay for that. There is no way around it, but that's about it. I'm not paying for Wix.com to have SSL in there. I'm not paying to have my domain in there because I can have those things done for free using Netlify. The tip number 3 that you have to do is show your previous work. And honestly, it can be anything. It can be your old client's work. It can be your old projects. It can be even your old work you have done previously. And maybe it can be an award. Whatever the work you have done previously, it's always a good idea to include it into a portfolio because, hey, if you can talk about this, that's awesome. That is something that is part of you, part of your portfolio. And even if it wasn't done completely, if it's still outstanding, if maybe it's not running anymore, you can still include it into your portfolio. You can still talk about it. And if you still have either code or something to show, you can absolutely do that. No one says you can't. But you want to make sure you give enough details about each of the projects that you've been working on, each of the projects that you have contributed to, and something cool to show. Tip number 4, have an about page. That page is very, very important because that is something that is personal to you. That is something that, hey, I don't know who you are, but reading this page, I can see who you are. I can see words that you're passionate about it. I can see what your technical skills are. And that's, by the way, you'll be underlying your technical skills. And maybe I can see where it is that you're heading in the future. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Hey, maybe you're planning to become a tech lead in 5 years. That is something to include in as well. Those are the things that they like to see. And that is something that will push them further to say, hey, I want to connect with this person because I can see his motivation and I can see he has a goal in mind. Last tip number 5 that I like to have on my website, and that is explanation of my development process. For a lot of different projects that you're joining, what I like to include is I'm assuming that that project I'll be joining is I'll be building from scratch completely. There's no code, there's no setup, there's nothing in there at all. I'll be the one who will be introducing all of that process. So what I like to do is writing that down of what is the first thing that we have to do. So let's say first, number 1 is we have to identify what are the use cases are. We can't just simply jump into the code and start writing things because we have no idea what is that we are writing, right? So those are the type of things, the steps I like to introduce onto my page of, okay, number 1, this is what we're doing. Number 2, 3, 4, 5. So then the person who's coming onto my website, if let's say it's my freelancer, they will see, okay, yeah, or we can see that this person does have a good roadmap of what needs to be done in order to take us to a specific point much faster. Or if it's a person who is hiring you for a full-time position, they can see that, okay, yeah, well, we don't really care about step 1 to X, but we can see that whatever he has included from step 5 to X, for example, we can see that he knows what he or she is talking about, meaning that, yeah, this is our development process. Maybe we don't do things the way they have mentioned, but about 80% of the way they do things, it matches the way we do things. So those are the type of things you do want to include into the process. Now, those are my 5 tips on building out your first technical portfolio. Now, if you don't have projects built up for that portfolio already, I do have a video where I'm recommending 4 projects you can build fast and get hired in 1 month. I will leave a link to it in the description below for you to check it out. Now, if you do need help on building out your portfolio or perhaps with your resume or applying to that first tech developer job, I do have a service available at techdevpool.com where I'm helping out my students on guiding them into the right direction of using my 5 years of experience. So go ahead, check it out, and I'll be more than happy to reply you back. Thanks for checking out this video. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.